friends. This is Lisa Hardy. Welcome back to another Tuesday Night Live right here on my Facebook page. Before we get started, I just want to check those notifications, make sure that we're up and running and everything is going well. So I'm just going to refresh my Facebook page as always. If you are popping on, please say hello. I like to know who's watching, where everyone is from, all that fun stuff. I have some beautiful, beautiful cards to show you tonight with my brand new Hydrangea Hill items, and it is just, they're just beautiful. So I'm just going to view my page. Hi Pam, thank you for sharing. Hi Rebecca. All right, hello, I'm so glad you guys are popping on. My Facebook page is just very weird right now. I don't know how to describe it. It won't let me like view it. I'm using a different laptop. My laptop is actually I'm having my hard drive updated, so I don't have my laptop. I'm using my son's laptop. But this keeps going to manage page, so I don't know why that is. So I want to try to make it where I can see everyone's comments, because I will be flipping the camera over in a minute. So let's just see what I have here. Okay, there I go. All right, so not a whole lot of updating tonight. Hi, Martha. I have two, as I said, two beautiful projects to show you. They are gorgeous cards. I have been very busy in the studio this past couple of weeks. My retreat packages went out yesterday, and I'm so excited for it. That's on the February 6th to those who are joining me online. My next one will be April 17th. That's a Saturday. Right now, I'm planning it for all to be online, given the COVID restrictions. But if you're in Canada, you can sign up shortly. I will post the link to that when it's available. And if you're outside of Canada, you can sign up for just the tutorial bundle option only if you would like. So I think that's it. I have some upcoming events, but I'm not quite ready to share what those are yet. I don't have any dates. I'm going to be doing that this week. And I guess we could just go get started. And so make sure you hit that share button so you can win a little something from me. You can win these two cards that we're going to be making tonight. So hit that share button if you don't already. Please like my Facebook page. And if you are watching the replay on YouTube, make sure to hit subscribe. I did post a new YouTube video last night. If you haven't seen that, go ahead on over to YouTube and search for Sweet Paper Studios. And you'll find the super cute Love You Always treat boxes. I show you how to put them together and how you can decorate them quickly and easily. Just what I like. Hi Mary, hi Pat. All right, so I am going to move my laptop out of the way. I have a different setup this today. I have a new camera stand. So I'm going to be flipping the camera over as always. Hopefully that will change soon. That's why I'm updating my hardware on my laptop so I can get some really cool software. But I'm gonna go ahead and flip the camera around, and then we can get started making these cards. This is the gorgeous bundle that I'm going to be using today. It is the Hydrangea Haven. It is gorgeous. I'm just going to grab my catalog here and show you what's all in this gorgeous bundle. It is in the mini catalog, so that's this one right here, and it is on page 18 and 19, and it is just stunning. You've got the Hydrangea Haven bundle, you've got some acetate designer paper, some gorgeous designer series paper, and some embellishments. Now these embellishments are on back order right now, but I've switched it out for some rhinestones. You guys know me and my rhinestones. So this is the stamp set and the dies. There's 22 different stamps in here, and then you've got the set of dies. And we will be using those today. And then you've got this actually very stunning Hydrangea Hill paper. You've got some very beautiful designs on here. As always, they are double-sided, so you've got some beautiful patterns there as well. Just absolutely stunning paper. So I'm going to show you 2 cards with this suite tonight. And I'm actually not going to show you a peek of them because I think they're beautiful and I want them to be a little bit of a surprise for you. So the first one that we're going to make features Rococo Rose cardstock. So this is your 5.5 by 8.5 piece of cardstock. And then you've got this gorgeous piece of the Hydrangea Hill Designer Series paper. This is 5 1/4 inch by 4 inches. And then I have a scrap piece of with basic white, and then I've gone ahead and I've die cut a Stitch So Sweetly rectangle die that we're going to use as well. And then I'm going to get, actually this is the scrap piece, this is going to be the inside piece. So we are going to start by just folding our card base in half. Now, Rococo Rose is one of my favorite ink colors. It is going to be one of those retiring colors come May. So if you're wanting any of the 2019 to 2021 ink color items, start thinking about stocking up now because they're going to be retiring soon. And you don't want to miss out. I'm probably going to stock up on a couple of pieces of the Rococo Rose cardstock just because it's just such a pretty color. Okay, so this is going to be, and I'm just going to, hi Mary Ellen. I'm just going to zoom in a little bit. And hi Jenny. So this is just going to go right over top of our card base, just right in the center. And you're just going to put that on with your Stampin' Seal, just right on top, just like that. And then we're just going to do the same. We're gonna, while we're doing that, we're gonna put our basic white insert with the Stampin' Seal as well. Hi, Natasha. Now, I just got this set delivered this afternoon. So these cards came together really quickly, but they're so pretty. And actually we got a dumping of snow today, so one of my boxes didn't arrive. I suspect it's due to weather, but that's okay. I'd rather the drivers be safe and be a little late than, you know, trying to rush to get their orders out. Okay, so next we are going to do a little bit of stamping, and we are going to stamp this beautiful hydrangea right here, and we're just going to stamp that in Memento ink. That's the Tuxedo Black, and I'm just going to go all over. Do that, and then I'm just going to stamp him down here. Gonna get that. Hi Roz. Florida. Is it nice in Florida? It's very cold here. Although I was talking to someone from Tampa today and they said it has been rather a little bit chilly. Okay. Let me just get this right here for a second. All right, so I'm also going to bring over a sentiment, and the sentiment I want to use for this card is the I appreciate all the little things that you do. I think that is such a cute and sweet sentiment, and I already have that on one of my D blocks, so I'm just going to stamp that also in Tuxedo Black, and I'm just going to stamp just in this little corner over here. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to put those aside, and then we're going to add a bit of color to our hydrangea. So they have a couple of different options. You can color it with some blends, but they also include this stamp right here that will add the color for you, which is really nice. So I'm going to use the Rococo Rose ink and that stamp, and I already have that on a D block as well. And we're going to add a little bit of color to that hydrangea. And I'm just going to grab a scrap piece of paper and I'm going to ink that up. And then I'm going to actually stamp off twice because I don't really want it that dark. I want something a bit lighter. And then I'm just going to stamp over, right over top of that top part. And so I've just got a little bit of color there. The stamp sort of added some texture for me in the different shades. Really pretty. Oh, Jenny, your nephew knows the 70s? I would take that. I would definitely take that. All right, and then I'm going to bring over the leaf stamp, which is that one right there. And that, again, I already have that on my block, and I'm going to take out the old olive ink pad. And I'm going to ink that up. And I'm just gonna quickly stamp off. I'm not stamping out the whole thing. When I quickly do it, it leaves some of that darkness, but also makes part of it light. So you get a nice contrast of color. And then I'm going to just stamp, I'm gonna need to stand up for this, over those leaves. And really, I'm just making sure that the stem lines up the most. And then I'm gonna press down. And then you'll get the image that looks like that. Isn't that just beautiful? So, so pretty. I'm actually just going to move the lights over just a little bit here. Hopefully that's a little bit better. I think that's good. Mary Ellen, I don't know why you get a request to join. Are you clicking on something? I'm not sure. Because I'm not touching anything else except for my stamping stuff, so I'm not sure. Actually, I'm going to leave that there. Okay, so next we are going to bring over the cut and emboss machine, and we are going to cut these out with those dies. So you have a full die that will cut out that full hydrangea, and then you've got this little guy right here, and it will, I'm going to cut out that sentiment at the same time, so I'm getting a 2-for-1 here. So I'm not forcing myself to cut out things one by one. You can always do two at one time. I'm just going to move that over a bit so you guys can see. So this will just sit nicely right like that. Okay. Just make sure that's nice and straight. And then I'm going to pull that out a bit on your tablet. Yeah, I'm not sure why that's happening, Mary. I'm just going to carefully put that on, and then I'm going to feed that through. Okay, and then I'm going to feed that through. A little bit shaky there. And then you will get that nice sentiment, and you've got that nice stitch detail there. And then you've got this beautiful hydrangea as well. Yes, so Mary, this is the magnetic platform from the Big Shot that Stampin' Up! Previously had, so it works just fine. So that's what I use. All right, so we're going to start assembling our card. So we are going to put this hydrangea right on top of that stitch scallop rectangle, and I'm just going to adhere it with some Stampin' Seal. And I am not putting any adhesive on the stem, I'm just putting the adhesive on the leaves. and behind the hydrangea. And we are just going to put it about right there. Okay, I'm gonna actually zoom in just a little bit here, so you can see that a little bit better, hopefully. And then we're going to prop that up with some Stampin' Dimensionals and then adhere it to the card. Hopefully zooming in helped it, I think so. All right. And this is just going to go on the center of the card. So you're going to end up with a nice designer series paper border. I mean, this, you might not be able, this, if you haven't seen this in person yet, like it's just, this paper is absolutely gorgeous. Okay, and then we're also going to put a couple of dimensionals behind our sentiment piece. They fit perfectly there. And that is going to go right about there. Actually, before we do that, don't want to miss this step, I'm going to edge that sentiment piece with the Rococo Rose. Almost forgot about it. Otherwise, I would have done this before putting it on the dimensionals, but it's still doable. So I'm just taking a sponge dauber and I'm just adding some color all the way around just to help define this die cut on the card, because we are working with mostly Rococo Rose, and it helps the sentiment pop a little bit as well. So you'll end up with something that looks like that. And so that's going to go about right here. Okay. Thanks, Pam. You're talking about the paper, Pat? Is that on back order? I know this suite of products have been like super popular, so it may be on back order. Okay, and then I have a piece of this Blushing Bride twine. This comes with the white twine as well. I believe it is, let me just double check. I can double check in a second what it's called. But I'm using, it's Blushing Bride, but you can tell with this paper, although it's not, it doesn't say specifically that this coordinates with Blushing Bride, it appears that in this paper you've got some Rococo Rose and maybe some Petal Pinks and Blushing Brides mixed in with it, so it actually works quite nicely. Okay, so Pat, so what I did, the suite wasn't available for order, so I actually ordered everything separately, and I was able to order the paper, the acetate, and the bundle on their own. The only thing that I wasn't able to order were the gems. And the ribbon I still kept in my cart, and they're on back order. Okay, so I've just tied a little bow, and I'm going to take my Take Your Pick tool and a mini glue dot, and I fold it in half, and I kind of fold it in half again so I get this little teeny tiny piece, and then I put that behind the center of the bow, and that's just gonna go where the stem and the hydrangea meet. It sticks it right on top of the sentiment. And then I'm just going to give that a little bit of a trim. And then I'm going to finish off this card with some rhinestones. And I'm just going to add 3. So again, I'm using the Take Your Pick tool for this as well. So I'm going to add a medium rhinestone. And then a couple of small ones. Oops. And then that completes the first card. There's your first one. Oh my goodness, that is so pretty. I'm being a little biased. Hopefully you guys agree. I'm just gonna take a quick sip of water. All right. So I'm gonna move that one out of the way, and then we can move on to our second card. I will just move the dies out of the way. Thanks, Donna and Rebecca. Okay, so this is our second card, and it features Misti Moonlight card base. I have a scrap piece of basic white, I have an insert for your card as well, and then I'm using a piece of Highland Heather and another piece of basic white, and then I've got some strips of that gorgeous paper. So we're going to be using sort of this pattern here. And then I have another smaller stitched Stitch So Sweetly rectangle. So we can go ahead and start by just folding our card base in half. I'm going to burnish those edges. And then I'm just going to add the insert right out the gate just to get that in there. And I'm just using my Stampin' Seal for that. There we go. And I'm just going to put that to the side for a minute. And I'll set my scrap piece of white to the side as well. So I am going to adhere this piece of Whisper White directly on to this piece of Highland Heather. And again, just using the Stampin' Seal for that. You'll end up with 1/4 of an inch. So I'm just gonna have to remeasure so I can get this right. This is 4.5 by 3 3/8 by 4 1/4 by 3 1/8 for the white. If you are a member of my creative community, tutorials for both of these cards will be on there for you to access. If you want more information about creative community, that is my online subscription. You have access to all of my class tutorials, my retreat tutorials, and my Facebook tutorials and some stuff in between. So it is a monthly subscription. You can cancel anytime. You can go to sweetpaperstudios.com/creative-community for that. Okay, so I have strips of 1 inch by 3 inch pieces, and I'm going to adhere them right over top of the Whisper White, and you will just have a tiny white border all the way around. So I'm going to start at the one end. I'm just going to use my seal to adhere. And I'm going to start on the one end. Again, just a small white border, just like that. So, just like that. Okay, and then I'm going to, I like to start on the ends and then go in the middle because I want the end pieces to be as even as possible. So I'm going to turn it around and adhere this part as well. Okay. Then I will just place these inside, take a look at the spacing, and then I will go in and adhere. Now I try to get the tops to align as much as possible. Just like that. Okay, and then I will just double check. Yep, that's gonna fit nicely in there. And you guys don't forget to give this video a share. You'll have the opportunity to win these 2 cards, and I just mail them to you. All right, see, so you'll end up with something that looks like that, very pretty. And that is going to go directly on top of your Misti Moonlight card base. And it's going right on there with your stamp and seal. And I'm just gonna make sure that's nice and straight. Perfect. Okay, I'm gonna put that aside and bring over my scrap piece of basic white, and we're going to stamp that same hydrangea image on the paper. So I'm just going to ink that up. There we go. Beautiful. And then I'm going to bring over the Highland Heather and the Gorgeous Grape ink pads. So normally I would not recommend mixing your ink pads, but these are pretty similar in color. The Gorgeous Grape is just a little bit darker. So sometimes, you know, you have to be careful when you do this. You don't want to mix like black and white, you know what I mean? But sometimes if the colors are really similar in nature, I will take that risk. So just a disclaimer, you assume the risk, right? So if you're not comfortable with mixing, and I'm not talking stamping and then stamping, I just do it a little different. I'll show you what I'm gonna do. I'll show you what I mean. But just know that if you do this, you're just assuming the risk. You know, you don't want to do it with orange and yellow, for example, right? Because then you'll really notice it. But if it's 2 similar colors, I don't mind taking the risk when I do this. So I need to clean my stamp from the last time I used it. So it's that same filler stamp here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to first stamp it in my Highland Heather, and then I'm gonna stamp off because that is really dark. But then I'm just going to I'm not gonna fully press, but I am gonna do like a little, like I just did a little flick over top. Okay, so I'm not really mixing the 2 colors, but it's gonna be hard to see on here, but hopefully I get the effect that I want, because then I'm going to stamp over top of the image. Just gonna give that a nice press. And then it's just going to give me some tone on tone. You could see how that looks. I'll try to get it a little bit more clear, but you see how it just created a little bit of tone on tone with those 2 shades. Now I could have gone a little bit lighter on the Gorgeous Grape, which is the darker side, but it's still, you get this beautiful, nice effect there. So I'm just going to move those out of the way, and I am going to bring out my old olive ink again and going to color, stamp in the leaves and the stem. Now I am going to do the same thing that I did earlier, just lightly stamp off and then go in and stamp these images. making sure my stem lines up. And then you'll end up with something that looks like that. Super pretty. Okay, so I'm going to just move those out of the way for a second, making sure I have some space. Because we do have to cut that out. So I am going to bring the stamp cut and emboss machine back over, because we do got to cut this hydrangea out. And again, we're using this die right here. And we're just gonna make sure that's nice and lined up. Okay, I'm gonna carefully put this over top. And I'm gonna run that through. Okay, now we've got a beautiful hydrangea. Okay, so we're gonna actually take back out the Highland Heather ink, and we're gonna do that same edging that we did on the other card with a sponge dauber. Now, I don't have one for Highland Heather yet, so I have a brand new sponge dauber, and we're going to, oh, don't know why I did that. Got a little, we're going to just edge the same way. Just creating a nice pop of purple all around. I tell you, once I get my computer back and more hardware, I'm going to be installing a software where I don't have to fiddle around with the view anymore. So I've tried actually installing the software already, but I just didn't have enough space on my laptop. All right, so that's just all the way around. Just gonna check that. And then you just get a nice touch of purple there. And we're gonna add a sentiment on here as well. So there are a few that you can choose from. They've got some really nice sentiments like the world is better because of you, you make me smile, to an incredible woman. Like you have these all occasion cards. So let me see. I think I'm gonna go with To an Incredible Woman. And we're just going to stamp that in the Memento ink. And I have that on my block already. And we're just going to stamp that right in the corner. I'll bring that a little bit closer as well. And we're gonna just stamp that right here. I'm also loving the font of this. If you follow me in any capacity, you know that I'm a mixed font girl. It's just so pretty. I love the mixed font, and it's just really beautiful. So we're going to just attach this right over top on our card base with our stamp and seal. And that's just gonna go right in the center. Give that nice press. And then we're going to prop this up on some dimensionals. So I'm not worrying about the stem. I'm just gonna put some on the back of the leaves and the actual hydrangea. And that is going to sit just right there. Okay. And then I'm going to take out some of the white twine from that same twine combo pack that came with the Blushing Bride that we used earlier. And I'm going to just make a bow And again, I'm going to take out a mini glue dot and just fold that in half. And then in half again, and then put it at the back of my twine. And then I'm just gonna put it at the base of the hydrangea. And we're gonna give that a little trim. And then we're gonna finish off the card with some rhinestones. More rhinestones, but this time we're actually gonna add 5 of those. So I'm going to take a medium-sized one, and we're gonna put one down here, and then we're gonna add 4 of the smaller ones. And we're just gonna sort of scatter those. I think we're gonna add one up here, and then we'll add one more up there as well. And that finishes off that card. What do you guys think of that? Thanks, Natasha. So I actually have an alternative one for this, and so that is a black and a Rococo Rose alternative. I just love these. Thank you guys so much for all those hearts. I really appreciate that. So just a couple of different options that you have. And actually for this one, I decided to trim the bottom part of the stem to align with the Rococo Rose piece. Just some options. You can make it your own. I just love these cards, and this suite is just gorgeous. So let me go ahead and bring back the other one that we made, which is this one. So we've got some 3 gorgeous cards here. Again, I'm a little biased. Thanks, Susan and Donna and Grace. Hello, Grace. And Pat. You guys are so sweet. Thank you guys so much. So that is all I have for you tonight. Thank you guys so much for joining. I will just see if I can bring this out a little bit. There we go, to get those all in there. I really appreciate you guys stopping by. If you haven't already, I would love for you to give my page a like and a follow. And if you are watching the replay on YouTube, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I have some more videos coming on there. And if you haven't already, head over to sweetpaperstudios.com. You can subscribe to my newsletter and stay informed about all things Sweet Paper Studios. Hi. Oh, watching from, is that New Zealand? That's pretty cool. Oh yes, Mary, you placed an order last night. Oh, you'll have to go ahead and add it back up. You can get that celebration item for free. All right, so I'm going to end it there. Thank you guys again. I really appreciate you guys following along. I will be back next Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern. So I hope to see you then. Bye.